First hit of the day with no water in the piece is crazy work. Welcome to the Wake and Bake. I am just now realizing everything in this video is so pink. I have pink pajamas, pink hair, pink room, pink face. It is what it is. Welcome to the Wake and Bake. Today I woke up early for you guys and I decided we should get high together. And I figured while we did this little Wake and Bake, I could introduce you to my dogs. Right now, the most requested video that I have from you guys is a dog introduction video, and that blows my mind. I didn't know you guys cared about my dogs at all. I figured I would combine the best of both worlds, Wake and Bake dog intro. Here's the video. So for those of you who don't know, I have 5 dogs, which is too many. If I can give anyone some advice, don't. I definitely bit off a little bit more than I could chew when I adopted all 5 of them, but that didn't happen all at once, and some of them happened during the pandemic, and I just can't be blamed for my state of mind during that time. We were all doing crazy stuff during the pandemic, okay? I was adopting puppies. So I have some fire flower right now. I really want to show you what it looks like. It's so pretty. It's lemon cherry. So that's the flower I'll be seshing on this morning. Let's pack this bowl and then let's start introducing these pupperonis. Happy Wake and Bake. Since he's right here, and he's my firstborn, and he's never far. He's always right next to me. This is Cheech. Like I said, he's my firstborn. My friend found him behind a dumpster playing with a water bottle like 10 years ago. I mean, it's so funny. Actually, within like the first 10 minutes of meeting him, I went into the bathroom and shut the door behind me, and he stood outside of the bathroom door crying for me. Personality traits of Cheech. He is a grumpy old man. He's been a grumpy old man his whole life. He loves to cuddle underneath blankets. He loves to cuddle on your lap. He wants to be held and pet and loved at all times. He's not great with men. He tried to bite my landlord before. What do you got there, Doobie? So I do have a DNA breakdown of him. He's mostly Chihuahua. I think you have a little Bichon Frise in there. You know, he's a little fancy, but he's mostly Chihuahua, and it shows. He acts like one. And he's gonna live forever. Like, he's never had a medical issue in his life. He got pancreatitis one time, and it's because he ate a bunch of stuff that he wasn't supposed to. And that's weird though, because he does that all the time. He's always eating stuff he shouldn't be eating, and he just trucks through it because he's a little tank. I have a feeling this guy might outlive all of these animals. But next up we have Indica. Indica right here. Sweet, sweet Indica. That's my baby. Indica's story. But I went to a high kill shelter in my area. I tried to find, I literally looked up like, where are they killing the dogs? And that's where I went to try to pull a dog out of, and I found Indica. I actually found 2 other dogs prior to Indica, but I was not allowed to adopt them because they were pit bulls, and you have to have like special type of home insurance and permission to own pit bulls in California. It's kind of fucking annoying. So I was walking down the row of cages and I see this paw hanging out, and I said, huh, who's this? And so I walked down, lo and behold, Indica is sitting in that little cage. I took her little number up to the front and I was like, can I adopt this one? She said, sure. Do you want to meet her? I said, sure do. And so I met her, loved her. I made a huge mistake when I was adopting her, and I did not bring Cheech with me to meet her. That's like the #1 thing you should do if you're adopting a pet. Bring any other pets you have to meet that pet, because you need to make sure they get along. I ended up getting very, very lucky that Indica ended up respecting his space. But yeah, I could have brought a death machine into my house unknowingly. She was a absolute psychopath when I first adopted her. I thought I made a huge mistake. Like, she was just a very, very crazy girl. She used to just sprint back and forth on my couch while I was doing live streams. That energy was a lot. I had never had a big dog with that much energy before. So at first I was like, what have I done? Here we are, 7 years later. And she's great. She's the best dog ever. She's great with kids. She's great with puppies. She's terrible with other full-grown dogs, which I know is confusing because it's a house full of full-grown dogs. The other dogs have all been raised by her. All three of my other pups have all came into this house as puppies, and like I said, she's really, really good with puppies. It's a weird thing. They didn't know exactly how old she was at the shelter. They said she was between like 1 and 2. So I'm guesstimating she's about 8 years old. She's getting in her senior years. She's starting to slow down. It's so crazy to see her slowing down because she's been such a crazy girl for so long. All 3 of the younger dogs are obsessed with her. She is mom. They all have immense respect for her. If I take her out of the house, they freak out. So these are my first 2. These are the 2 that I've had the longest, and they're my best behaved. You're crazy, girl. For anyone out there, because you guys exist and sometimes you comment on my videos, if there's anyone out there who is concerned about me smoking around my dogs, first of all, thank you for caring about them. I actually think that's sweet of you. Second of all, they're good. They're fine. Everything's good. The door is always open. I'm never ever constricting them to a room saying you have to be in here while I smoke. I have air filters running around my house, not specifically in this room because I don't spend a ton of time in this room, but my house has filters. I always try to never blow it directly at them. Like, there are just a lot of other bigger issues that I feel like deserve attention. And my dogs being in the same room as me while I smoke, I feel like should be very, very low on people's worry list because they're good. They're good. They're good. They're treated very, very well. All right, next up, we have Doobie. This handsome fellow is Doobie. He's a very, very dark dog, and so my camera has a hard time picking him up, but just know he is extremely handsome. This is the 3rd dog I adopted. I adopted him from a rescue. He was born in Tijuana. They ended up picking up him and his mom and the rest of his siblings up off the street, and he got a lift to California. He was the last one that anyone picked out of this bunch, and I showed up and I was like, I don't care if I like him or not. I'll take him. Let's go. It was during the pandemic. I was lonely. I felt like a 3rd dog. That's great. He, from jump, the most anxious animal I've ever owned in my life. He is the sweetest, most affectionate dog I have, but also the most difficult. He started off as this tiny little thing, and then now he's this monstrosity of 80 pounds. So personality traits for Doobie. He is extremely anxious, very smart. He's a very, very smart dog. He has a lot of like Malinois, German Shepherd, and those are very, very smart pups. And they're very, very high energy. So he gets into trouble if I don't wear him out enough. And that's, you know, expected. But he is good with kids, adults, babies, puppies, dogs, cats, birds. He is the sweetest, sweetest animal in history. He's psychotic. He's very high energy, and he can have the ability to scare other animals or people, but it's not him being malicious or mean. It's just him being very excited to meet that person or animal. I think both of my boy dogs are the most affectionate that I have. Does anyone else notice that? Does anyone else have boy and girl dogs? And do you notice that the boy dogs are more affectionate? Let me know in the comments if you notice any kind of pattern with that with your animals. But both of the boys in my group are the sweetest. Like, they don't want to leave my side. And like him, he will curl in your lap like he's a tiny baby. He is so unaware of his size. He thinks he's Cheech-sized. But he is my special, special, sweet, sweet boy. Even though he ruins my life and he tears up all of my favorite things and he hides my shoes and he eats my socks, I love him so much. After Doobie comes Mary Jane. Alright, so this is Mary Jane, and believe it or not, Mary Jane and Doobie are supposedly siblings. Yeah, that giant animal that was just on my lap is supposedly related to this little chunky sausage right here. Mary Jane has the same story as Doobie, found in Tijuana with the same mom and was transported here to California. I don't know how convinced I am that they're related because I did their DNA and they don't have any DNA in common. So since the last time I looked at this, I think the website updated their results because they didn't have all of these breeds on there the last time I looked at it. So now that I'm looking at the updated version, it looks like they do have a tiny bit of an overlap. They both have a little Chow Chow. They both have a little Cocker Spaniel. They both have a little Chihuahua. Well, one has more than the other. But there is some overlap. You can see some overlap. But they have the exact same coloring. Like, you can see she has this white chest here. Some of her toes are white. She got a white little beard. I did not know she was a part of the original litter because the lady had her in like a different room. I thought Doobie was the last one. So when the girl from the rescue messaged me, she was like, look, I have one more puppy. Would you be willing to foster her while we look for a home? I was like, yeah, absolutely. So I ended up picking her up, and within hours, I made the decision that I was just gonna keep her because she was so cute. She's a pain in my butt. She is my sickest dog. She's always sick. She has skin issues. She has stomach issues. We are constantly at the vet. It's really sad because like I want her to be healthy, you know? I want this little thing to be healthy. But honestly, her quality of life is fine. She lives fine. It's just kind of expensive for me. Personality traits of Jane. Is she kind of silly? She kind of funny. She loves it when you like sing songs. She thinks that you're like playing with her. Yeah, she just likes to lounge, chill, hang out. She's extremely greedy. She will eat anything that falls on the floor. And yeah, that's Jane. Jane the brain. Jane the lame. Bean! The next one up is Zaza. She's not gonna hop on the couch, I promise you. Because she's very, very finicky. But this is Zaza. The camera's making her nervous. Zaza has an interesting backstory. I do not have Zaza's DNA profile because at the time when I did the DNA profiles, I hadn't adopted her yet. But I'm pretty sure she's Chow Shepherd. I'm pretty sure. So my friend's mom is a vice principal at a high school, right? And one time, one of her students pulled up and they had a dog with them and they had like run away from home. His mom was like a backyard breeder and she was like unhappy with like the fact that this wasn't a purebred chow and was gonna, in one way or another, get rid of this dog. And so the little boy took the dog, ran away from home, and brought her to school. And so my friend's mom called me and was like, hey, I know you work with rescues. I know you do this. Do you think you could come pick up this dog and watch her for a little bit while we figure things out? I said, absolutely, for sure. So I came and picked up Zaza, and she was this tiny, little floofy little cloud. She's so cute. So obviously I had no problem babysitting her. After everything had settled, the dog was not going to be going home. And so it was kind of up to me to decide what to do with her at that point. And she wasn't yet fixed, and I was a little concerned that somebody might try to use her for breeding because at the time I couldn't really tell that she wasn't full chow. Like her color and her coat changed a lot as she aged. And so this final product, she didn't look anything like that. She was like gray when we first adopted her. But like I said, I wasn't really sure about what kind of breed she was, and I didn't want her to be at risk of somebody using her for another backyard breeding scam. So I wanted to hold on to her until she got fixed. And so that was at about 6 months old, and at that point we had already bonded, and she had already bonded with my other dogs, and I was just like, whatever, you're here, we've been doing this for 6 months, might as well stay. And that's how I ended up with 5 dogs. You might have noticed when I called Zaza, I didn't call her Zaza, I said Bean. Zaza has the craziest nickname. All the other dogs basically get called what they're called. Indica gets called Indica, maybe Indy. Doobie has some crazier ones. Doobie, Scuba Steve, Doobarella, Doobarini, Doobitch. Cheech is just Cheech. Rajul calls him Seaman. Cheech the boy, the baby, the kid. You know, he's just a legend. And then Jane, Mary Jane, Jane the brain. Zaza has the craziest nicknames. It started at Zaza, then it went to Zazalini, Then it was the Leany Beanie. Then it was just Lean Bean. Then it was the Leanest Bean for a little bit. And now it's just Bean. Sometimes it's Mean Bean. She's my meanest dog. Okay, so personality traits, afraid of everything. So cute though, look at, you're so cute. Fiercely loyal though, and like really watches this house. Out of all the dogs, she clocks in the earliest and clocks out the latest. She will watch this house, and she has a bark like an alarm system. Yeah, she's pretty smart. She loves Doobie. Doobie's her best friend. They hang out. Anywhere Doobie goes, she is not far. She, like Doobie, will follow me to every single room, but she's less likely to like seek affection. She's just like, where are you going? What are you doing? Oh, I see. Okay. Whereas Doobie's like, where are we going? Oh, I love you so much. She only wants to be touched once. She's like a cat. She's like a cat in a dog's body. She only wants you to pet her like right here. That's her favorite spot. She's a sweet girl. She's not a big cuddler. Like, she's not a cuddler at all. When I say not a big cuddler, she won't cuddle you. Ever at all. Not even close. She will, like, vibe with you on the bed, though. She will hang out with you. But yeah, those are the pups. There's all 5. Cheech, Indica, Doobie, Mary Jane, and Zaza. Obviously, there's a theme with the names. I am high as fuck. If you're still watching this video right now, comment Dizzle Dogs. That's literally their Instagram page. I do have an Instagram for them. I haven't updated it in well over like 2 years, so don't like race to get there or anything. But shout out to Dizzle Dogs. As they get older, they get more manageable, but there was a point in time where I was very near the edge, the precipice of insanity. They were ruining my life. It felt like they were doing it on purpose. But they're very chill. They're all very sweet. I love them all dearly. And yeah. Cool. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning. I'll see you next time. Make good choices. Be good to yourself. Be good to each other. Slay.